Time to raise the standard.
Be better than the best.
McKenzie. Oh, beautiful.
10 teams, 1 goal.
Become the champion.
You know, Andy, playoff champions. Seen this in 2 decades.
A new era, a fresh start, a total reset.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are basketball.
We are British basketball.
Can't stop me, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable, I'm unbeatable.
Performance on score. Every time they wanna clash, the winners kicking through the door. I am unbeatable. Chances running out of stop, and we're running out the clock. I fail once, never stop. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah. I am unbeatable. I am unbeatable, yeah.
Welcome to the British Basketball League. The season is up and running. Tonight's game is an all-Southwest matchup as the Bristol Flyers host the Plymouth City Patriots. And last season, the Flyers were flying high, beating the Patriots 4 times on their way to finishing in 3rd spot in the league. Your commentators are Josh Bett and Azania Stewart.
Well, hello and thank you, Jeanette. Well, welcome everybody here to the 37th season of the British Basketball League. I'm your commentator, Josh Bett, alongside Queen Azania Stewart. Queen, welcome back. It's another great year, and we have the Southwest Derby about to get underway.
Oh, I've missed you, Josh. Thank you.
Well, again, looking at this lineup, of course, I mean, this is a big rivalry. These two teams, they played each other 6 times in the last 2 years, and the Plymouth City Patriots have only won twice, and that was back in 2022, so nonetheless a bigger game for them to say.
I think a big game, but obviously it's the first game of the season. I think a lot of players will be a little bit nervous, but just excited to get it going.
Well, there you see the starting 5s, of course, and we'll get onto those starting 5s later on, but, you know, a huge shout out there to the fans making the journey in the southwest from Plymouth all the way to Bristol. We're talking about one of the best away fan bases in the British Basketball League.
Well, that's the best fan in the building, the baby Plymouth. And they do travel, you're right. I just think they're incredible. And to have that fan base and supporting on the road is huge.
Well, of course, this is going to be a big matchup, as we mentioned. These two teams coached by very experienced coaches, and of course a lineup featuring some returning players, but also some key players. Now let's go and look at Rafael Wood-Thomas as he makes his big return back to the British Basketball League. You know, he was a member of this team back in 2021-22, but what a great return it is for him. A good homecoming.
Well, I was watching the Flyers podcast, I love that, and he was on there, and he was just talking about that he was an assistant coach in Germany last year and how much that's improved his IQ of the game. So I'm interested to see how he really steps up and as he's back playing basketball.
Well, again, a lot of players that have returned to this team. There's Tevin Ollis, you know, what a key impact. And, you know, you mentioned about the youth of this young man. The sky's the limit, but he is a great individual.
Yeah, only 25, Josh. I just think you're right. The sky's the limit, but I think he needs to get himself going. He needs to be the leading scorer of this team every single night.
Well, momentarily, we will look at the Plymouth City Patriots, of course, and there is the man of the hour, the man, the myth, the legend, Elvis Dusha, arguably the biggest fan favorite of the Plymouth City Patriots. Now, he was a member of the Plymouth professional basketball team that existed before the City Patriots, but there's no surprise to see that he is such a big icon down in the Southwest.
Well, an icon and the captain of the Patriots. He is going to be the biggest leader, you know, on and off the court. There's a lot of responsibilities that come as a captain. So I just think, I know he'll be excited for today's game.
Well, VC Dusha, the big name, but, you know, the big talking point is that man right there, Taylor Johnson, for many years dominating the National Basketball League, the NBL, with teams such as the Thames Valley Cavaliers and more recently the Hemel Storm. For many years, the teams have been looking at him, trying to get him to the British Basketball League, and now is the time. What a big time to shine here then. The Southwest Derby in your opening game. Yeah,
the dominant headband man, you know, just an absolute sniper. I think a killer, and he needs to be very aggressive, but I think Bristol are going to have their hands full defending him tonight.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back momentarily. Enjoy this break that we have here of this game in the British Basketball League. Welcome back, Bristol fans. Now we're going to get set to look at the starting lineups of these two teams in Zania. You know, we know who the starting lineups are, but, you know, walk us through the Bristol Flyers. This starting lineup is going to be featuring some really exciting talent.
Well, we spoke about Thomas Edwards being the captain, being the leader. I think that's really important, but we haven't spoken about Jacob. I just think he's a sniper, he's a killer, and I'm excited to see him this season.
Well, of course, you mentioned about Thomas Edwards, but, you know, Tevin Ollison coming back. But now let's look at the Plymouth City Patriots, their rivals. Taylor Johnson, no surprise to see him in the backcourt along with LVC Dusha.
Yeah, I think this is a key lineup. Pretty big, pretty tall shooters. I just think how they're going to perform on the road. I'm really interested to see how they come out to start. I think that first 5 minutes is going to be crucial.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to meet the coaches of both the Plymouth City Patriots and the Bristol Flyers to get their thoughts on the opening game of the 37th season of the British Basketball League. You've had many opening games of seasons against basketball teams from Plymouth. What makes this occasion any different against the Plymouth City Patriots?
It's always exciting at the start of the season, Southwest rivalry, great way to start the season, our 10th season in the British Basketball League. We look forward to it.
The guys know what to expect. We're away from home. You know, really tough start for us, and we're really excited about it.
One of the big names that everybody's been looking for, the player that's made the jump from the NBL now to the British Basketball League, Taylor Johnson. How big is Taylor Johnson going to be for you this season?
I think it's going to be huge. I've been trying to sign him for about 3 or 4 years right now. So, you know, really delighted to finally get to work with him. You know, and he's everything that I thought he could be in training, and hopefully that can come across in the games.
We just want to play hard. We want to be the aggressor, and we just got to make sure like we compete on both ends of the floor for 40 minutes.
Well, there you have. Cool. Well, there you can see now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a quick break time here before we get started. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, moments away from tip-off here between the Bristol Flyers and the Plymouth City Patriots. And the Zania, you know, opening game, as you mentioned, the nerves and the adrenaline must be going through these two teams. But there are 3 referees, Gavin Williams, Joe Hodgson, and our finest from Turkey, Tahir Akar. Because, you know, this is a massive moment. Not only is it a Southwest derby, as we mentioned, it's the opening game of the 2023-24 season of the British Basketball League.
Yeah, and just talking about those nerves, when I used to get those butterflies and nerves, I never liked to get rid of them. I like to feel the moment, let the game come to you, don't force anything, and just, you know, play hard. I think that's a stat that you can't put on paper. You know, diving on the floor, sacrificing your body, and I just think let the game come to you. It's going to be an exciting moment, and I'm ready.
Well, of course, the Plymouth City Patriots needing a big turnaround after last season's disappointment. They had a tumultuous second half of the season, losing players, having to reshuffle, many injuries, of course, and losing on that final game against the team that took the playoff spot. That was the Newcastle Eagles.
Well, they went out in the off-season and got some real talent. But what I'm interested to see, obviously, they've got some returners, but can they gel? Can they play well as a team? Can they share the ball? And ultimately, can they win?
Well, as we mentioned, the Plymouth City Patriots starting with DeAndre Johnson, Jacob Wiley, Taylor Johnson, LVC Dusha, and of course, TJ Atwood, another key addition to this team. Tevin Ollison will be in the starting lineup with Raphael Thomas Edwards. Green, Johnson, and Jacob will make the final starters for the Bristol Flyers. Well, hello, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be. Welcome to the home of the Bristol Flyers. This is the 37th season of the British Basketball League. And now it's going to be the Bristol Flyers. They're going to take on the Plymouth City Patriots. Don't go anywhere as we are set for tip. Well, tempo is going to be very key in the early stages of this game, I would imagine, of course. Well, the referee's now just trying to sort out a slight issue that we have with the clock, but now it looks like we're ready to go. Johnson will jump this one here for the Plymouth City Patriots. In the way, it will be the Bristol Flyers who get the first possession. The Bristol Flyers having 2 monumental seasons this past 2 years in the British Basketball League and looking to extend as they get set to move into their new arena. And that's going to be a huge monumental factor for this club going forward, Zania.
Yeah, to have your own club, your own arena filled with fans. The rebound goes to Johnson. That's really good for him.
Well, Taylor Johnson, as we mentioned, making the adjustment now here to the British Basketball League. A superstar in the NBL with the likes of Thames Valley Cavaliers. There you can see the mid-range shot been taken and easily tucked away there by D'Andre Johnson. And getting his opening 2 points of the British Basketball League.
I really like that offense. Really executed. Screen came over, got into rhythm for that jump shot.
And now the Flyers trying to go to their own dribble handoff, drawing the contact, going in and counted. Getting the +1. That's a good response there from the Bristol Flyers. Tevin Ollison, again, doing what he does best.
Yeah, with his left hand. He is a lefty, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he is. Comes back to the right hand, takes the contact, and the screen. We love it.
Well, you know, Zane, looking at those 2 offenses from these 2 teams, of course, they like to go to a dribble handoff set, but, you know, defensively, what do they need to do to stop that from being, you know, an easy bucket inside the paint for in the case of the Plymouth City Patriots?
Yeah, I think sometimes you got to close the gap or the gate, as you would like to say, not make it look so easy. But for him right there, you know, that's a tough finish, taking the contact, making the bucket, and then hitting the free throw.
Well, Ollison converting the 3-point play for the Bristol Flyers. Dusha finding a bit of space, but going to call an offensive foul here against Elvisi Dusha, I believe. I think he got called for a hook.
Well, the referees have spoken about, there we are, we get to see it again, setting the screen solid. You've got to get there early and you cannot move. They're on point with that this season.
Flyers looking to extend their lead. Trying to go for an isolation here. Suffocated defense, almost turning it over. Good hands by Johnson, but it's going to be a foul. So another 2 free throws coming up here for the Bristol Flyers.
Good job with Green just staying with that. And it's easy for a referee to call when a big slap down comes. Look, he gets the rebound. I think it's the right call.
Well, size-wise, you can definitely see that Green is going to be a big force for this team, of course. I mean, look, the big man, I believe, he stands at about 6'10", but you know, something that they've really missed in recent years is having that solid center in and around the basket. They've always been predominantly a very quick, small ball team.
Yeah, quick, and then they've also got Smith on the bench ready to sub him in, excuse me. So they've got 2 big bodies, and that's really, really good. The bench is going to be important this season.
Well, one thing for the Plymouth City Patriots, last season they didn't defeat the Bristol Flyers. They've played each other 6 times over the past 2 seasons. And Bristol winning 4 out of the 6. There's another 3-point. 3 is up, and it's good. And again, D'Andre Johnson stepping up big time here for the Plymouth City Patriots.
Listen, feeling good. Got there all 5 points for Plymouth. When he gets himself into rhythm, looks good.
Well, great help side defense by Taylor Johnson, preventing the easy dump down, but that's going to be a baseline ball to the Bristol Flyers. Ollison will inbound this for the Flyers. Good to see another sellout crowd here at the home of the Bristol Flyers, excuse me. Well, there's the pick and pop now, kicks out. Ollison wide open, 3 is up. No good, but the Plymouth City Patriots able to secure the rebound. Johnson now trying to play the point guard role in the backcourt. Trying to go give it a go here. Again, Flyers being very physical on defense. Should go on baseline. No one to kick out to. Well, Wiley was wide open to get the ball to him. And under the basket, that is way too easy for the Plymouth City Patriots.
But good patience by the Plymouth Patriots. I'm really enjoying them on the offensive, Josh. They're really executing, making sure they hit good screens.
Well, another deep 3, and again, contested 3-pointer. And that one's good there from Rafa Thomas-Edwards.
That's got to feel good for him. The captain seeing the ball go through the net is always a lovely feeling.
Well, a great homecoming for Rafael Thomas-Edwards. Definitely had a good season abroad, as you mentioned. Wiley going for the mid-range. And again, these 2 teams, Paul James wanting the +1 call there, but nothing's going to be given for the Plymouth City Patriots. Well, a deep three-pointer. Are you kidding me? Well, right now it's rated three-pointers. You better have your umbrellas here in Bristol.
Wow, it's going back and forth. Real exciting first couple of minutes in this first quarter. Pretty much everyone scoring their buckets.
Well, drawing the foul early, it's going to be a baseline possession. Great penetration by Jacob Wiley. Just having a little pump fake there, drawing the foul against Green. The mismatch on defense.
I'm really enjoying the Patriots so far. I don't know what I was expecting. I was just really, you know, kind of antsy how are all these pieces going to work together. But right now, I'm really enjoying their movement, their offense, working for each other. It looks good.
Of course, a lot of people last season had big expectations on the Plymouth City Patriots with players such as Antonio Williams. The 24-second violation. You can see how infuriated Coach Paul James is that Elvisi Dusha didn't shoot the three-pointer. But going back to what I said, of course, you know, go back to 2 seasons ago when you had the introduction of Antonio Williams and, of course, Deuce as well, the big man. Last season was a massive disappointment. Again, you think this year, it's a whole new season, as you mentioned, but already this team looking very confident playing with each other in the Southwest Derby.
Listen, obviously, you use that as fuel last season being at the bottom of the league, but this year, it's a new game. You tie your shoes up new every game, so you can't even worry about last season, and hopefully they can, you know, chip away. It's a long season. We're going all the way to May. There's some exciting, you know, there's a All-Star game this season as well.
Massive. Of course, you got the North versus the South, and that's something we haven't seen since the British Basketball League was sponsored by the Derek Lee Dogs. And an offensive foul is going to be called against Rafa Thomas Edwards.
Wiley, good defense, solid, physical, stays moving his feet, and then takes the hit.
Well, again, Thomas Edwards trying to take him in the low block, but as you mentioned, Wiley being very principled and very disciplined on defense.
Both teams playing wonderful defense. We just saw the Bristol Flyers, Bristol Flyers keep Plymouth to a shot clock violation. Now bang, down the other end on the defensive end. Both teams working very, very well on both ends.
Well, Dusha being heavily defended now, trying to get things going in the backcourt for the Plymouth City Patriots. There's the gamble on defense. We're trying to go for a lob with Wiley, but a little bit too much on it. Dusha baseline, but a foul is going to be called against Johnson. Just a reach from behind, a very unnecessary play there by Johnson.
Especially when the clock is running down. So that will reset the shot clock from 7 to 14.
Well, the foul is going to be called against Kedron Johnson. And something that the Bristol Flyers cannot afford to give too many away too early. Dusha bounding this one here for the Patriots. Johnson trying to go backdoor, but a jump ball is going to be called.
A jump ball, I don't know. That was more of a wrestle. Josh Johnson's hairband, or sweatband, whatever you would like to call it, gets taken off.
Well, Johnson, as we know, is very much a finesse player, very agile, very quick in transition, and a great shooter. But you know, one place you'd last expect him to see is trying to muscle him with the bigs of the Bristol Flyers. But now, Plymouth City Patriots 5 here on the shot clock. Mid-range is up, no good.
Another solid defensive stop by the Flyers.
Flyers looking to take the lead back again. So far, been playing with confidence on the perimeter. Ollison down the middle, hanging. No foul called. Both teams just trying to settle in here. They started off very well from the perimeter. Johnson twisting, trying to go baseline. Drawing the contact. Going to be 2 free throws coming up here for the Plymouth City Patriots. Wiley all over the floor right now here for the visitors.
Leslie Smith with the foul. We get the pleasure of watching the replay. It's a tough call. I felt like Leslie Smith had his hands up there.
Well, Wiley, of course, we mentioned making the adjustment for this team. There's always a transition period when you join the British Basketball League. Very different from other professional leagues that you'll find here in Europe or, you know, anywhere in the world of international hoops.
Yeah, I would agree. Obviously, England's it's got its own style. It's really very young in the basketball world. If you look at, you know, European teams, American, they've been playing basketball for many, many years.
Well, the second most played team sport here in the United Kingdom, the game of basketball. Well, Flyers go for another 3. trying to go up on this one. No good on this. Patriots now trying to extend this one. Johnson trying to lead the way here in transition. Well, Johnson going in the lane, can't get it. Nobody going in for an offensive rebound here for the Plymouth City Patriots. Well, can the Flyers extend their lead? There's a penetration going in. Foul has been called. Well, ladies and gentlemen, momentarily we're going to have a TV timeout here as these two teams will get a break to talk it over. Brought to you by the British Basketball League. Southwest Derby of the 37th season of this magnificent professional league. But these two teams, they'll have a chance to rest it up. Well, welcome back, everybody. Again, Zany, we're going to have to get used to these TV timeouts here from the British Basketball League, but so far, very interesting to have in this season.
Yeah, there's a lot of new things coming in, and the TV timeout obviously comes 5 minutes just after that, the first dead ball. I kind of liked it. The last time I played with that was in college at University of Florida. I knew it was coming, so I'm like, okay, go really hard until I can have that break.
Well, of course, the Bristol Flyers extending their lead. Now, going back to the history of this team, they came into the British Basketball League back in 2014, and almost like an unknown quantity, a team, that had no identity. But, it's fair to say every season they've been very competitive here in the British Basketball League.
Yeah, every season, but this season they have entered the ENBL, which is the European Northern Basketball League. They're stepping up their game and entering the European League. I love that.
Well, Ducey going for the fadeaway in the post, can't get it. Offensive rebound secured here by the Patriots, getting a ball reversal. Well, can they get something from this offense? Pulling up from the mid-range, and again, another tough shot, but this guy has come ready to play. Atwood making an introduction here in his opening game of the British Basketball League.
TJ Atwood, 6'6", and obviously can extend the floor. I like that for him.
Well, it's now going to be the third season of existence here for the Plymouth City Patriots, a team that risen from the ashes due to the absence of the Plymouth Raiders. Is Green missing the pumping, and now Jules Dingakoto, the 2017 British basketball player who played for GB at the Eurobasket. Second season after joining the Plymouth City Patriots. A pick and pop from three, no good. And wins with a rebound. We're going for another quick three in transition, a bit of run and gun, but just rattles its way in and out. And now Plymouth City Patriots with a slender 1-point lead. Ducey just catching a very tough pass. Jules in the corner, he tries the three-pointer. Both teams going a little bit cold here, Zania.
Both teams going pretty quickly, and just one pass and a shot. I would like them to run an offense and get a good shot, a better shot, in fact.
Well, Green going for a quick post up, and again, a nice little seal off there by the big man. But, it's a great move by him, but one thing we've seen so far, free throw shooting, very unconvincing so far from the big man.
And free throws are so important, especially as you come down to the end of the game. But look here, the entry pass and the quick turn, and he's really upset with himself. He knows he can make that.
You know, it's going to be interesting, of course, how the Plymouth City Patriots go about this center role. I mean, they don't really have that natural 6'10" center that can match up with any of the bigs that we have in the British Basketball League. But this has got to be something Coach Kapoulis has got to be thinking we can try to exploit in this game.
Well, I was a post player and I love post play. So for them to establish the post player early and often is so important, because once you go inside, then you can stretch the floor. The shooters become open because they're worried about the post player down low.
Well, Dangakoto playing the point guard role with LVC Dusha playing off guard. Trying to go down low here. Wow, we're twisting and turning, making a great move. But again, Green securing the rebound here for the Flyers. These two teams locked in at 12 apiece, under 3 minutes to go. No foul call, but again, Flyers fighting for offensive boards. Second time can't get it, but again, third time, no problem. And again, that is going to infuriate Coach Paul James. The fact his team gave up 4 second chances to the Bristol Flyers.
Good job by the Flyers being so, they're working hard on that offensive glass.
Johnson now trying to get a handoff here with Jules Dangakoto. Kicking out now. Plymouth City Patriots, a second 24-second violation. Now you got to think here for Paul James, is it the time to call timeout for your team with 2:06 to go here in the first quarter?
And that's the second shot clock violation the Flyers have forced. Their defense is really tough, Josh, real locking up. The Patriots really struggling at times.
Not a lot of separation between the Bristol Flyers and the Plymouth City Patriots. We just have a slight delay in game as the officials just want to sort out the shot clock. Our referee, experienced referee Tahir Akar. Now, it's just about to hear. When I was a PE teacher down the road at the International School of London, his wife used to work with me.
Ah, wonderful. He's refereed a couple of my games last season when I was with the London Lions. Real approachable referee, easy to talk to.
He's also one of my Turkish teachers too.
There you go. And I'm loving the new colors of the referee shirts. Yesterday we had a maroon or burgundy, and today we got the bright orange.
Well, again, it's been a massive rebrand this season from the new ownership of the British Basketball League. 37th season of the British Basketball League, and as we've already mentioned, a new rebrand, and of course, as you mentioned, the referees coming out in different colors. Exciting times here for British basketball. Well, Thomas Edwards now tries a three-pointer, can't get it. And the Plymouth City Patriots with a chance to break this one. Tries to go for a Eurostep, but great defense.
Wonderful defense.
Well, Bristol have numbers here. Go for another three. Three is up, three is good. And again, they are cooking in transition. Tevin Ollison making it count.
Yeah, and Paul James upset. But for me, it's their defense. The Flyers looking good. They're locked in. They're being physical. And then it turns into easy, quick transition buckets.
I think PJ is very disappointed because he felt there was a travel in transition that the referees missed. But, you know, he's got a lot to think about with his players right now, especially in their offense, a lack of execution.
Yeah. And I think here in this timeout, he's clapping and he's, you know, really telling his players, hey, they're playing harder than us. They're playing tougher. They want it more. And it's so important this timeout just to regroup the team and then you see Bristol Flyers, he's drawing up a play.
Well, here is a man who's been with this franchise right from the beginning. We're talking about Division III, Division IV as early as the 2002, 2003. I mean, he's been with the national team programs, coaching England under 16s. He's taken this club from zero to hero, basically. As we mentioned, making their debut in the British Basketball League in 2014, but the biggest moment was back in 2020 when they made it to the BBL Cup final, just losing out, of course, to Worcester. I mean, it's almost like it's a progression train that just keeps on moving forward in Bristol.
Yeah, and a solid coach. As he goes, they go. He's always animated. You see him running up and down the sideline, always involved, and also a great guy.
And of course, we have to pay homage to Paul James. Back in 1997-98 was when he won his first trophy with the Thames Valley Tigers, and that was the BBL, the British Basketball League Cup at that time. Again, you know, but the biggest achievement for him was, of course, what he did with the former Surrey Scorchers team, Guildford Heat, but also going to Worcester and changing that team from a bottom-tier team to winning the playoff championship. Both coaches come very highly regarded.
Great point.
Well, the Flyers now with a 5-point lead. Just over 1 minute to go here in the first quarter. Bristol looking to extend it. Can they make the use of the home court advantage? Olsen fakes now, goes in, hangs in the air. Well, maybe should have gotten that one there, but looking like George Gervin in a Bristol Flyers jersey.
And it just opened up right to the lane. Really strong finish. And I think that was an M1.
Well, contact was given, no call was made. 7-point lead now to the Flyers. Dan Koto, a bit of time and space. He'll pull it for a 3-point. No problem for the former GB 2017 Eurobasket player.
Great answer from him. They really needed that bucket.
Well, Danga Koto, since leaving the London Lions in 2021, it's been a bit of a rocky career, but, you know, finding a bit of a home for himself. I think they want an +1 call there, but the block was definitely made before he touched the backboard, so...
Well, they're also asking that the shot goes in because he blocked it before it was on the way down. Obstruction of shot?
We'll have to see the replay. I think he...
Let's see. Well, that's what he's asking for. Let's see. As he shoots it.
Well, that's on its way up. Listen, that was Emirates just taking off from Heathrow.
Yeah, I know.
That wasn't quite Ryanair, just on his way down after taking off, don't worry. Shout out to Ryanair, I love that airline. But of course, that was now, you know, when we talk about key players, one thing I do appreciate about Bristol Flyers, you know, you talk about some of the young talent that have come through the system. It's been a great hub for, you know, young British international talent to go and really get that experience, whether it was back in the NBL or here in the British Basketball League. This is a club that really has both ends of the spectrum. Development, but also competing at the highest level.
Yeah, and I think when you add that age and that youth and that speed, Special Samuelson here on the free throw line hits his first, totally needed that. But his speed, just incredible. But on both ends, the defensive end, he's moving his feet, he's being physical. He is obviously a little bit shorter, but that doesn't matter. He's, you know, coming up with great stops and then straight to the bucket.
Well, Corey Samuels making the second free throw. 2 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock here for the Plymouth City Patriots. Ideally, they want to dribble this one down here for the very last possession. Trailing by 6 points. Well, Dan Koto doesn't get too comfortable. Well, look out below, ladies and gentlemen. But another turnover, a wasted opportunity for the Bristol Flyers. Plymouth have options now. Hanging in the air, and again, wedgie time. Well, unexpected last 26 seconds there for both these two teams, Azania.
Yeah, and when the ball gets jammed, it becomes jump ball, so they'll go to the possession arrow. The 0.8 seconds left.
Well, Plymouth had numbers there in transition. Atwood tried to go, this is the second time he's tried to go for the Euro step, but the defense has effectively read what he's tried to do on both occasions.
Yeah, like I've said, I just think the Flyers defense they've been closing doors. They haven't been making it easy for the Plymouth Patriots.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the first quarter here in the 37th season that's underway for the British Basketball League. Currently, the Bristol Flyers have a slender lead against Plymouth City Patriots. We'll be back for the second quarter momentarily. Welcome back, Basel fans, here to Bristol for the opening game of the 2023-24 regular season of the British Basketball League. Currently, it's the Plymouth City Patriots taking on the Bristol Flyers. As Zany, so far, 4 turnovers from the Plymouth City Patriots. I mean, probably one thing Paul James has said to him in the break time, they have to take care of the rock.
They definitely do, but yet again, another turnover. Plymouth have not found a way to answer the Flyers' defense.
We'll make that turnover number 5 now. Another three-pointer, no good. Yet another offensive rebound here for the Bristol Flyers. Corey Samuels being guarded by Jules Dangakoto. Time winding down here on the shot clock. Got to get something going. Takes a Hail Mary fadeaway three-pointer. Yet another offensive board. Oh, loose ball goes out of bounds. Now we'll go back to the Plymouth City Patriots. But, quite understandably if you're at home as Zany, but the key thing is Plymouth City Patriots, they need to be more aggressive on the rebounds.
Yeah, 100% bodies need to fly towards the rebounds, but then also you need good screens, you need good movement. But right now, I'm just really enjoying the Flyers' defense. They're all working, they're moving on a string. They've got their hands up, they're being big, taking up space.
Can they get something from this offense here? Trailing by 6 points. Made his last 3, goes for another one. Can't get this one to roll.
And the thing is, they're keeping Plymouth down to one shot, and then they're getting the rebound.
Well, the first time these two teams ever met was on the 5th of December, 2021, in which Bristol Flyers left with a 20-point victory. They go for another deep 3 in the corner. Get no good, so the Bristol Flyers now just falling out of sync in their offense. Another foul has been drawn. This one is against Rafael Thomas Edwards. Now, he did feature in that opening game. That was back in 2020, and he only had 7 points on that night with 6 rebounds. But, he will know all about this rivalry. I mean, this is one of the most heated rivalries in the British Basketball League.
For sure, and you can feel it tonight. Both of these teams going really, really hard. Thomas Edwards falling a bit heavily, but, playing hard. He is the captain. He talked about he wants to be a leader. He wants to, push. They came 3rd in the table last season. They're going to be trying to get a piece of silverware.
Well, they deemed this a shooting foul. So Wiley's going to the free throw line here for 2 shots. Well, interesting decision there by the officials. So Jacob Wiley currently at the free throw line here for the Plymouth City Patriots, missing his first free throw. Well, went to Marion College in Indiana, graduating in 2022. Now, he has played professional basketball not only here in the United Kingdom, but also in Greece. So, having played against great teams such as Panathinaikos, Olympiakos, AEK, PAOK, Aris, you name it.
Tough.
What an experience.
About him, he's, times, and that's what you want. He's going to really bring the grit for the Patriots.
Well, now the Bristol Flyers unable to secure the rebound, goes out of bounds, so will be possession back to the Plymouth City Patriots. She's trying to find Johnson. Again, just finding out the aggressive and the physicality here of the British Basketball League. Johnson trying to get his first 2 points, mid-range, no good. Oh, Wiley looked like he was about to put the entire VIP row there on a poster. Bristol still with a 3-possession lead so far here against Plymouth City Patriots. Dangakoto trying to be aggressive on defense. Green looking for a back down. Kicks out to Samuels, another deep 3. No good, but this time Plymouth doing a good job of keeping Bristol off the second chance points.
Yeah, much better by Plymouth. Good defense, running out to shooters, and they get the ball back. Well done to chip away at this 6-point lead.
You've played at a very, very high level, of course. I mean, you are a team, especially last season, your team was very much a 3-point shooting team. If those shots aren't dropping, where do you find your other points?
Yeah, you have to be able to get to the rack. You've got to, shot fake, get layups, easy points.
Well, Johnson trying to go in and around the defense. Pick and pop here, Wiley. Making a very tough pass. That's turnover number 7 now here for the Plymouth City Patriots. Again, something Coach Paul James, as a point guard back in his day when he averaged 10 points per game at the professional level, won't be too pleased with his players. But Green now, Big Mac just going to work.
Yeah, Green, he demanded that ball. There was a bit of miscommunication with the defense. He was wide open. Nice finish.
Well, looking like a baby Brad Miller out there for the Bristol Flyers. Dusha trying to make the dime now inside the paint. That's a nice little play there from the Albanian international. Well, again, excellently finding Meki Noble. Again, now, key thing for him is he played NCAA Division II basketball at Florida Tech. You know who his coach was?
Tell me.
The great Billy Mims, the former head coach of the London Lions and champion with the Leicester Riders back in 2001. One of the greatest coaches in the history of the British Basketball League. Well, foul has been called, so it's going to be 2 free throws, I believe, coming up here for the Bristol Flyers.
Let's have another look at this replay. And the shot clock was running down.
The question is now, he was in his 1-2 step, but, you know, do you define that as a shooting foul?
Yeah, because he's into his 1-2 step.
Guess so, yeah.
Good minutes from the captain, Thomas Edwards. He'll take a seat.
Well, free throws need to be imperative for these two teams. Opening game of the 37th season of the British Basketball League. I mean, something you know as a pro as well. You never want to look back at a game and think the outcome could have been different had you made all your free throws.
Yeah, woulda, coulda, shoulda. And I think free throws are just, they say it's mental, but also taking your time. You have 10 seconds to shoot your free throw. I see some people just get it and shoot it really quickly. Take a deep breath. Take your time. Use your full 10 seconds if you want to. Obviously, that's maybe a little bit too long, but just catch your breath.
So far, 6 for 9 for the charity stripe for the Bristol Flyers. Plymouth City Patriots only 1 for 4 from the free throw line. Currently, they trail by 8 points. Going again for the mid-range. That's way off by Wiley. Bristol looking to extend this one. Allison now tries to go for Euro step. Again, turns it over. Plymouth have numbers. At the moment, you know, it's something you talked about. Can this team gel? And right now, you're seeing the inexperience of playing with each other here at the British Basketball League level.
Yeah, they're doing well getting out in transition, but you're right. It's just the last, the finisher of the play, throwing really difficult passes, down low bounce passes to the feet, and they've turned it over a fair few times like that.
Well, Atwood and Wiley currently on the bench here for the Patriots. Looking for Johnson, going for a quick fadeaway on the baseline. Can't get it. Again, good hustle, trying to go for those second shots points. Something Paul James will definitely appreciate. Dan Cotto kicks out, finds Johnson. He goes for 3. Oh, way off the mark. And again, another offensive board, but nothing popping here. The lack of size.
Yeah,
Plymouth City Patriots affecting them.
Yeah.
Well, still now, Dusha going all the way, but still can't get in that. Zania right now, they can't buy a bucket.
They're really struggling.
Oh, my Lord. Well, just when you thought something spectacular was going to happen, bit of a sloppy passage of play from both of these two teams, Carl.
Both teams really struggling on the Plymouth's team side, they're really struggling. They're shooting shots, hitting the side of the backboard, missing layups. Really easy shots here. Let's have that one. Thank you very much.
Well, that's a nice little dime there coming from LVC Dusha. Finding Noble under the basket, the Albanian international, who has featured for Albania in the Eurobasket pre-qualifiers.
Lovely pass.
Well, wide open to point. 6 a three-pointer. And again, if they get going, it could be a problem. Trajan Jacob, then the tray ball in the corner for the Bristol Flyers.
It was all in the pass. Passed it perfectly in his pocket, in his hands, had his feet set, hit the 3.
Well, Plymouth go for another one. Again, just out of sync here in their offense. But it goes out of bounds. It'll be their ball on the baseline. 5 minutes and 1 second left here in the second quarter. Obviously, well, you see in the background there, you got the England jerseys. And, you know, what's interesting about this arena, even myself, I mean, you feature for junior national teams, but this has been the hub for many junior English national teams for training camps in preparation for, you know, junior Eurobaskets. Well, Dusha looking for a post-up, but an offensive foul is going to be called against LVC Dusha. So good defense coming by Kendrick Johnson. Now we're going to have another TV timeout as we've reached the halfway lineup of the second quarter. Enjoy this break time, brought to you by the British Basketball League. Paul James having a bit of time to talk over with his players. You know, turnovers has been an issue for his team. I mean, they're trying to get used to his offense, very much a set motion offense. But of course, you know, another problem they have is they don't necessarily have, as we mentioned, a solid center out there.
Yeah, and there it is. 8 turnovers here in the first half, and we've still got 4 minutes and 52 seconds. That's way too many. Hopefully he'll talk to his team in that TV timeout. But it's loads of passes to the feet. They need to be really crisp, take their time and execute their plays.
Well, Johnson in the backcourt, guarded by VC Dusha. Can they extend this to double-digit lead? Trying to go down to Green, but again, putting a little bit too much English on that pass. And that's the 6th turnover now for the Bristol Flyers. And something for them, they'll look back and think, you know, they have been a little bit complacent in a few of their offenses.
Yeah, and Leslie Smith, he's going to be upset with himself. He knows he can do a better pass than that.
Dusha now trying to find Atwood here, looking for a post-up. Trying to go down the lane now. He's got to go up with this one. Gets his own rebound, puts it back, and that's much better. Paul James insisting there was contact. It should be an at-one play.
Much, much better. Atwood sticks with it and gets the reward.
Remember, the first time the Plymouth City Patriots defeated the Bristol Flyers was on February 11th. Get out of my house, he says. Well, the rejection coming from Johnson. Well, Green went inside the key, thought he had the green light. And again, if you ever played in South America, this is where they say, "No en mi casa." Get out of here. You are not welcome. Well, Green going again this time, drawing the foul. Maybe not the worst foul here for the Plymouth City Patriots because, as we mentioned, not the most consistent free throw shooter. Difference in the free throw shooting so far. 11 free throws already taken by the Bristol Flyers.
Yeah, and Green's 1 from 4 so far.
The exact same stat, 25% from the free throw line as the entire Plymouth City Patriots offense.
Well, the good thing is they are getting to the free throw line. They're 8 for 11. So they have been aggressive, putting their head down, putting pressure on the referees to call fouls. He misses another one.
Well, Corey Samuels coming into the game. Leslie Smith checking out. So Andreas Kapoulis just gone with a bit of a smaller lineup. Before he had Smith and he had Green, which was a much bigger lineup. But, you know, maybe identifying that, you know, Green could be the ultimate force inside the paint for them.
Yeah, and he's just a big physical body. He can play, he can move his feet. And he makes that free throw. Well done, Green.
Extending the slender lead yet again here for the Bristol Flyers. Remember, the first time Plymouth City Patriots defeated the Bristol Flyers was on the 11th of February back in 2022. And another turnover. Can they extend this to 10 points? Maybe 11 if they go for a three-pointer. Finding Green in the paint. Green going up. Big man. Too big, too strong, and just too good.
And good entry pass by Johnson. Finding Green down low. Green is working so hard, Josh. But as soon as he enters the paint, he's posting up.
Well, Dusha finding Dengakoto. Pump fakes now. Nowhere to go here. Johnson coming off the ball screen. Attacking the basket. Again, another turnover. 10-point lead to the Bristol Flyers. Going for a quick three. Three is up. No good, but another offensive ball. This time it's Corey Samuels. They go for another tray ball, but again, no good. A wasted opportunity there for the extension.
Plymouth is really lucky to get away 3 offensive looks.
Well, it's got to be careful committing that foul because, yeah.
Yep, it's the right decision.
What? Did he upgrade it? That's my question.
Yeah, I think he did.
Well, Johnson's got to get used to international basketball because, well, we're going to have a timeout now as Paul James at the moment. His team's searching for some identity, but going back to that foul by Johnson, very careless. Well, there you can see the body language coming from Paul James, looking at his players. You know, what is going on? But, yeah, what does his players need to do right now to kind of, I mean, offense has been a problem since the end of the first quarter.
Well, the problem is passing. I just think they're making terrible passes. They're not executing. They're just kind of rushing, driving, and then just throwing it away. Hence why they've got so many turnovers. I just think they need to take their time. Look, 10 turnovers. I know Paul James is absolutely going to be losing his mind. might have to undo that top button so he can breathe and, and not lose it, because his team is just, you know, not executing his game plan. And I know he would have had one for game day one.
Yeah, we're talking about historically one of the best coaches in British basketball. You know, Paul James is definitely up there. You know, as we mentioned, with the Thames Valley Tigers taking them to 2 playoff finals in 1998 and 1999, losing to the Birmingham Bullets and to the London Towers. And of course, you know, when he went with Guildford Heat, winning, you know, the trophy, the league, and the playoff championship, but also replicating similar success at Worcester. This is a very different project for him, because he's got to work with a young, inexperienced team. And as we mentioned, the foul picked up by DeAndre Johnson. He's only just come out of playing NIA basketball at St. Thomas University. This is his first time playing pro basketball. I'd say he's a very lucky player that they haven't upgraded this to an unsportsmanlike foul.
Josh, you are incredible. You know that you're a basketball jukebox maybe of information and the dates, and you're just, wow. He's not reading this. This is coming right out of his brain. I love it.
Some would say he needs to get a life, of course. Maybe
you love basketball. I'm here for it.
Maybe Mrs. Bett has told me that a few times. But there's the penetration down the lane. No foul call, but Green with another offensive board.
I like Green's effort. He's literally a magnet to the ball.
Well, many old British basketball fans will remember the great Billy Singleton. Green, of course, very similar, but that's a better play there. So now the Plymouth City Patriots will be going to the free throw line here for the three-point play. And maybe you can see there VC Dusha bringing the players together. A bit of inspiration that they needed in their offense to build that identity.
Yeah, and that was a good job by Atwood, taking on the slower Green here. Doesn't move his feet and slips over.
I mean, that's 270 of muscle probably just almost slipping over to the ground. That takes quite a lot to make the big back shift. Well, again, unable to secure the three-point play. 10-point lead here to the Bristol Flyers. 2:10 to go now here in the second quarter. Remember, the 37th season of the British Basketball League. We're trying to go for lob now. Big man again, bullying his way. Zany, you might need to call the principal, because Leslie Smith is just bullying his way inside the paint.
Yeah, really strong from Smith. He's so broad and he's so strong, but also he takes his time around the rim. Good basket by him.
Well, Dayakoto now looking to chip this down to single digits potentially. Foul is going to be called against Corey Samuels. You know what's interesting, though? Going back to Bristol Flyers' first ever game in the British Basketball League in 2014. Who was their very first ever opponent?
Why do you do this to me all the time?
Well, it's fun in games, you know. Who wants to be a millionaire? British Basketball League stuff.
I want to be rich, so I'm not winning at this game. Tell me.
It was a team from Plymouth. It was the former Plymouth Raiders. So again, it just goes to show the history, the rivalry with basketball, not only with these two clubs, but within Bristol and Plymouth, of course. And, you know, unfortunately, when the Plymouth Raiders left the British Basketball League, and, you know, fortunately, the Plymouth City Patriots came back, that rivalry never disappeared. These two teams, there is professional animosity between them. There's respect, but my word, do they absolutely want to tear each other apart. Well, there's the penetration now, going in the lane, draws a contact, gets the and one, and he's going to the free throw line. Well, Johnson, KJ, we might have to call him the British Basketball League KJ.
Is not afraid at all. Look at this. Puts it through his legs. Hard dribble, takes the hit, and finishes. And one for that man on the floor. Well done.
Well, Kedron Johnson, as we mentioned, making a big introduction now in this game. 6 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. Near a triple-double for that matter.
Yep. Really lovely stat line, and still over a minute to play.
Well, looked like a good game in the beginning moments of the first quarter, but now it's becoming a bit of a calamity here for the Plymouth City Patriots.
What else is a calamity is these free throws. They're going to make me lose my mind.
Well, both teams collectively having tough nights here from the charity stripe. You know, in the case of the Bristol Flyers, looking very confident, but they need some inspiration. Who could be the player that steps into this game to lead them on the way? Trying to find Ovisa Dusha. Dumped out now. Can he get the isolation? Smith trying to be aggressive. Johnson thought about going for the three-pointer. Almost turned it over, takes the deflection now. 2 seconds left here on the shot clock. Well, Taylor Johnson, originally from Dartmouth University, played his high school in Texas, where he scored just under 2,000 points in his prep year.
Well, he hasn't scored yet. He's trying to find his first bucket.
Oh, 24-second violation. Make that number 3. And Jules Dengakoto, he felt there was a foul there, but 50.1 seconds and a potential 2-for-1 coming for the Bristol Flyers.
I'm just over here clapping because I am so impressed with the Flyers defense. They're locked in, they're engaged. You can see how much they want it. Turnover Plymouth yet again, and now they have a good look.
Well, Corey Samuels was turning it over there, but Tevin Ollison able to keep this one alive now. Leslie Smith, the backdoor play. Bristol have numbers. Well, Plymouth have numbers going all the way. And again, another and one.
Yeah.
And Wiley, all of a sudden, last season was doing it against Panathinaikos, Olympiakos, all the big EuroLeague names. But now look at the athleticism. The nice finish there. That's what Plymouth needs now. More transition points. But Zany, it's got to start with their defense.
Yeah, and look how they got out in transition. It feels like a bigger point difference. It's only a 12-point game. Plymouth can cut and chip away at this lead, especially when you got Wiley, who's so fast and can get to the rim that quick. But you know what, Josh? The free throws are so important.
Well, Wiley went to the University of Illinois in Chicago. And there is the, oh, almost got it. 28.6 seconds left in the game. Well, currently in the first half, excuse me, but you know, so far, a lot to think about here for the Plymouth City Patriots, but you know, a bit of inspiration as we saw in their game. Getting the defensive steal, causing the turnover, but able to convert that turnover into a quick transition point. Something they can exploit.
Yeah, I think in the second half, they need to do more of that. See coach on the sideline. Might as well be out there playing.
7 seconds difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Johnson splits the defense, finds Green, gets rejected, but it touched the backboard. Well, they won the 2 points in the end, no problem.
But Green sticks with it.
Well, it's going to be an offensive foul against LV Sedusha. It's going to be his second personal foul. So now
Yeah,
Bristol, 1.4 left, plenty of time here.
But Josh, I'm lost for words for the Flyers defense. Look at this. Putting your body on the line, moving your feet. If you like it or not, I think it's the right call.
Oh, definitely, 100%. Kedron Johnson did everything right, but now a timeout's going to be called here. Yeah, 1.4 seconds left. Plenty of time to get the ball inbound. One dribble, maybe two, to get something off in time.
But Bristol is frustrating Plymouth City. They just really struggling to even get, or sometimes even look, a good look at the rim.
Well, Andreas Kapoulis, as we mentioned, the Greek international assistant coach with Team Great Britain throughout the FIBA World Cup qualifiers. You know, unfortunately, Great Britain failing to qualify in their opening game. You know, the only game they did win was against his country, Greece. That was in Newcastle.
I know that probably hurt a little bit, but was happy at the same time. But what I love about this timeout, look how he's just so into it. Everyone's locked in, watching. He's drawing his play up. I just think he has a complete team here. It's only the half, but I'm really happy if I'm him with the first half of the Flyers basketball.
Now, in this case, of course, 1.4. Do you take off Green? I know he's been a big man, but do you put all your shooters on the floor for this one?
It looks like Green is still on the bench, so I'm going to say no. He's going to stick with Green. Because he wants still the big presence or the rebounder.
The thing is, I know as Zania Stewart, you know,
I'm staying
you could
in the
step
game.
out and hit 3 points.
Oh, I never shot many.
Oh, I've seen you take them.
I know.
Well, sideline ball, Corey Samuels is going to inbound it. So VC Dusha, 1.4 left here in the first half. Well, we get the ball inbound. Johnson baseline, one-legged, doesn't get it. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the first half, it is the Bristol Flyers who lead this one by 14 points, 39-25 against the Plymouth City Patriots. This is the 37th season of the British Basketball League. Halftime break, we'll be back. Go get something to eat, but don't go anywhere too long, as second half will resume in just under 15 minutes. Welcome back, British Basketball League fans here. We're going to take a look at the statistics here from this game so far in Azania. Yeah, you talk about the Flyers defense, but 13 turnovers, that really proves the case here for the Plymouth City Patriots.
Yeah, the defense has been so key for the Flyers. I feel like they've locked in, they've been all on the same page, and then that great defense has turned into easy offense.
I mean, not a lot to separate these two teams. Both teams 9 field goals with inside the rainbow. Of course, the Plymouth City Patriots with only 2 less three-pointers. The assists very similar. Rebounds 5 more, but you know, it has been the free throws. 9 free throws out of 14. Only 1 made free throw so far for the Pats.
Yeah, the free throw is obviously a huge part, but Plymouth is lucky to only be down 14. They need to go into this half, regroup, and come out stronger.
Well, again, we're going to take a look at some of the key highlights from this game momentarily, but you know, defense has been the driving factor from this game.
Yeah, for me, defense is my favorite part, but I feel like as a team, the Flyers have played very, very, very well. The starters have been solid. Everyone who's played has scored.
Well, now, Basel fans, we're going to take a look at the key highlights here from the first half. Here are the key moments of the first half. Both teams coming out like a house on fire. They can see Atwood kicking out in the corner, finding Johnson. You know, you felt like he was going to really find his rhythm here. Remember, it's only his first pro season out of the NIAA.
Yeah, he looked locked in, he's focused. But for me, I just felt like the passing is what Plymouth kind of lacked on. There was a lot of turnovers. There was bad passing to the feet, not solid, you know, easy, smooth ones. And kind of the Flyers was all over it. They smelt that.
Well, there you can see the return of Rafael Thomas Edwards making a key impact. But you know, you got to love the way this team has really had the confidence to transition. But more importantly, how effectively they've run the pick and roll with the big man Green.
Yeah, big man Green down low has been effective. But listen, I just feel like they're gelling. They're playing well. They're all looking for their offense. They've got their head up to the rim, and the crowd loves it.
Well, another key moment here. Edwards, Green down the big post. Too big, too strong. But again, that's just way too easy for the big center. Brad Green, as we mentioned, making his introduction here to the British Basketball League.
Yeah, Green leading all scorers, 10 points.
Well, of course, now you can see, you know, Plymouth City Patriots finding a little bit of success whenever they go with LVC Dusha, that pick and roll sequence, but the three-point shooting at times hasn't been consistent here from Bristol, but very clinical in moments where it's really killed the confidence of the Plymouth City Patriots.
Yeah, and Jacobs 2 from 3 from the three-point line, so Plymouth need to run him off that three-point line, but he's feeling good.
Well, Green again, sealing off his man, making it look way too easy, bringing back the old school style of basketball that we've seen so far here in this game.
And not only 10 points Green has, he also has 8 rebounds. He's looking good for a double-double in the second half.
Well, Brad Green, as we mentioned, but again, you can see KJ making his introduction, getting the @1 against Jules Dengakoto. Well, Basel fans, hope you enjoyed those highlights, but let's go back last night where Azania and Todd Harris had the fortune of covering the opening game against Newcastle Eagles and the Sheffield Sharks. That was live on Sky Sports.
Beautiful head fake, up and number with a spin, and 1 for the Eagles. Ricky McGill, lightning quick on the baseline.
McGill, beautiful finish.
Passing lane disrupted, and another steal, this time for the Sharks. Highlight real time, and a throwdown. 2-point game now as Sheffield trying to get their offense rolling. Do they get it from the outside? Yes, they do. And here come the Eagles looking to capitalize on this. Beautiful, leave it for him, and he will deliver.
Rocks the rim, Taj Green, what we know him for, the highlights.
Pipkins now. He finds space, push off, and the foul.
Boy, oh boy.
Shot clock now down to 5. Drive inside out. Ratino left open for the 3. Buries it. Bang. Tell you what, this is not something you want to do in the backcourt, is dribble too much. This team lives off this, and a nice job of defense. Beautiful drive to the lane, and 1. Ricky McGill, wow.
McGill, nice finish at the glass.
Larry Austin now pushing the pace inside. Deep range three. Count it.
Will Neighbor.
Oh, right down the lane. Defense comes. Not soon enough. Terrell Allen with a huge bucket for the visiting Sharks. Shot clock still at 9. Beautiful alley-oop, and there you go. First highlight of the night as Taj Green delivers.
My, oh my, look at this.
Boom.
Sheffield Sharks falling apart.
British Basketball League is back, and it's the Newcastle Eagles that come from behind and get the victory.
Hey, it's Taj Green here at Crep City, Newcastle. Let's go shopping and see what I find, but it's gonna be on Newcastle Eagles budget. I always wanted to hoop in these, but I feel like that'd be too heavy for me.
There's always been a connection with basketballs and sneakers. I feel like, you know, it started with Jordan, and I feel like now just with the fashion and shoes, and it's worldwide.
Jordan 10 is probably my favorite shoe. I had owned the NYCs 10s, and I hooped them. I was like, ooh, yeah, I like them. Or these right here.
At first, I didn't want to come overseas. Being away from family, I'm a mama's boy, so that was the biggest thing, being away from my mom. But it was a good journey. I'm blessed to be able, you know, to say I'm a professional basketball player.
Coming to the UK really like 11 o'clock, they have 4 outfits. And I'm walking around sweatpants, hoodie, and I'm like, I don't feel right. So I gotta, you know, kind of like draw into the culture, like everybody got outfits early in the morning. I got these at home right now.
The whole life general about Newcastle is good and it's smaller. It reminds me back at home.
How much y'all shirt? 60 on all of them? I like this one too. And all of them 60. Yeah, the other place tried to get me.
To me, it's drip. Our terminology of drip is, you know, what you put on the court, off the court.
When I don't have a decision, I go any, mini, minor, most. I always go with the opposite though. Yeah. Let me get this large one. I just want this one. Don't let nobody get these, please. No, like, the best player to ever touch a basketball. Behind me.
I'll raise him one. There you go.
Over this.
This is a lit league. We have a lot of good players, a lot of great talent. I just feel like it's a league that a lot of people sleep on and don't realize the talent that we actually have.
This is gonna describe my whole team in one. Teamwork.
If you think about it, we got a team full of players, real fast, athletic.
This is Darius Defoe, man. He about business.
We have a good coach that's gonna lead us in the right way. We real exciting.
This will be JJ.
That looks a bit serious.
Yeah, JJ tough. Like JJ here, floor general. If I could pick a shoe from this table, the Pandas, you know, you can wear those with anything. Like I can fit in with anything.
I just feel good, you know, being on the court because I'm still blessed to be able to play. And it's only year 2, so I feel like it's more years to come.
Well, welcome back, Basel fans. Second half about to get underway here between the Bristol Flyers and the Plymouth City Patriots in the Southwest Derby, the 37th season of the British Basel League. Well, hello, everybody. I'm your commentator, Josh Bett, alongside the great Zania Stu. Now, Zania, I mean, it's very tough here, but we got to find ways to talk about Plymouth City Patriots and how they can get themselves back in this game, because at the moment, it's only one direction.
Yeah, and Plymouth is struggling on the offensive end. Not one player in double digits. Wiley's leading all scorers with 7 points, and that is it. They really have to regroup, get themselves going. They need to fix their passing, their catching, and be more aggressive.
You know, respectfully, these two teams have wonderful fan bases, but when we talk about one of the most passionate fan bases, you got to be talking about the Plymouth City Patriots, because Basel and Plymouth, I mean, it almost seconds that to the football team, of course. I mean, those fans, as I said at the beginning, they travel all over the country to see their team play.
Yeah, they have, for sure. They love it, and they've got lots of exciting basketball to come up. It's just the first game of the season.
Well, Green now going again, drawing the foul. That's way too easy there. You can see the dump down to Brad Green. No double team coming. Nobody able to guard this man one-on-one in the low block.
Yeah, and he is the leading scorer. He has 10 points, 8 rebounds here, takes his time, and then used the rim to protect himself so he can't get blocked. But they haven't adjusted.
Well, the big man's only made 2 free throws so far this evening for the Bristol Flyers. Again, you can see this could be a game plan here for the Plymouth City Patriots. Makes us the second one, though. Now his third made free throw attempt of the night here for BG. He's definitely not a BFG, that's for sure, but the big man definitely making his presence known down in the low block here for the Flyers. 15-point lead to the home side. 7th meeting of the Southwest Derby here in the British Basel League between Flyers and the Patriots. There's a kick out, finds Dusha. 3 is up, way off the mark, can't get it.
Really struggling on both ends, defensive end, and then that's how they've been shooting in the first half. Not hitting the rim, hitting the side of the backboard, just no execution from them.
Olsen trying to take on Johnson. Going down low again, and way too easy. And Brad Green, I said, looks like a baby Brad Miller.
Yes.
At the moment, looking like a baby Tim Duncan there.
Green, lovely hands, kept moving. He's constantly moving, and I called him a magnet. He's just following the ball everywhere he goes.
Well, old school British Basel League fans will remember the great Billy Singleton. Remember the Cheshire Jets, now the Cheshire Phoenix. Also the former Caledonia Gladiators team. The post up there, no good, but a foul has been drawn. But, you know, the way Green plays, very simple in and around the paint. You know, very unorthodox, because you don't see that back down post play these days anymore.
Yeah, just solid though. You know, he uses his size, uses his strength, very broad across his shoulders. And like I said, he's constantly moving. He's looking for different angles, and then also he's hustling on the offensive board.
We definitely like what this man definitely delivers, making his debut season here in the British Basel League, but currently now here at the free throw line for the Plymouth City Patriots. Yeah, been a bit of a tough game so far here for him in his introduction, but nonetheless, a lot of potential for this young man.
Yeah, and who else is struggling is Taylor Johnson. Josh scored 0 points, he's only taken 3 shots, hasn't found his offense at all in the first half. I think for them, they need to concentrate, find him a good, open, easy shot.
Well, that would, interestingly enough, actually played in Malta before coming, as well as Slovakia, as well as playing in Denmark for the Svendborg Rabbits. So a bit of experience for him to bring, but another deep 3, and again, turning down the temperature in this arena. Plymouth City Patriots looking to build this one, trailing by 15. Johnson back to Dusha. Jamal bumping in the lane, taking on the big man. The tip-in is good, and Taylor Johnson getting his first field goal in his debut game in the British Basel League. Well, that will do his confidence a world of good here, getting the second chance put back, but a legal screen set against Brad Green. So back-to-back turnovers there from the Bristol Flyers.
Yeah, and now Plymouth can really execute and try and get back-to-back. Yeah, let's have a look. Pretty solid, but Dusha gets hit pretty bad in the head.
Well, you know this as well, being a center. The margin for error when setting a ball screen.
Very small.
You have to get it on target, on time, at the right moment.
Yeah, you've got to get there early and set your feet.
Well, Johnson now making a better menace of himself here, drawing fouls off the defense.
But them not making it easy for him at all, being physical, pushing him off of his spot. He hasn't had a clear look at the basket all night.
You know, there's going to be a transition period where he has to adapt to a different style. A lot of people, there's been the debate for so many years, you know, the NBL hasn't caught up to the British Basketball League. No chance whatsoever. But again, when you dominate at the NBL, which is a good level, you still have to work your way in and find your feet in the British Basketball League.
Yeah, I think that's such a great point, Josh. You just got to find your way step by step, slowly. He struggled in the first half, had the donut, but now he's seen the ball go in the basket, and hopefully that will just draw confidence in this second half.
14 seconds here on the shot clock. Can Plymouth go on a 4-0 run, maybe a 5-0 run? Again, another turnover. Good hands by Tevin Ollison. Splits the defense down the middle, draws a contact, doesn't get the and one, but he will go to the charity stripe. But again, lackluster offense. Becoming transition plays here for the Bristol Flyers.
Yeah, and that's Jacob. I think he got the steal and then the drive. Just knowing, putting his head down and causing havoc down there, making the referees have to call a foul, playing very, very well. But yet again, I can't speak enough about how good this Bristol Flyers defense is.
Well, Trajan Jacobs so far 6 points in the game. Again, unable to get the first free throw. Interesting now, that's 10 for 17 for the charity stripe here for the Bristol Flyers. If you make all 7 of those free throws, this game probably is done and dusted.
Yeah, well, I know what they're going to be practicing on maybe Sunday if they have a day off tomorrow.
But then the case here for the Plymouth City Patriots, only 3 for 8 for the charity stripe. I mean, you know, again, we talk about lacking a center, but also lacking the inability to make high percentage looks inside the paint, which, you know, leads you going to the free throw line. Something they need to work on.
Yeah, that's a really great point.
Johnson curls the screen, bumps, goes up, doesn't get the and one, but he'll go to the free throw line. You know, he's really liking curling that screen off the ball and trying to get inside the paint. Much more aggressive play here by the former NBL MVP.
Yep, and way to step up. He knew he needed to get himself going, but look at that, comes off of the screen, and they did have one more in the corner, but I like it. I like his aggressiveness, and so his team needs him. They're down.
I'm interested. DeAndre Johnson's the one that set that screen off the ball for Taylor Johnson.
Right.
But should DeAndre Johnson cut right to the basket? Because you can see the defense,
yeah,
both of them chasing out to Taylor.
No, that's such a good point. He just stood still. If he keeps moving, potentially he could get that pass or the rebound.
Missing the second free throw. 13 points of deficit, 7 minutes here in the third quarter. You know, not a big margin, Azania, but, you know, they're really going to have to work for it here. Tries to dish off, good passing. 3 in the corner's up, and it's good. Well, welcome back to the British Basketball League for that man, Raphael Thomas-Edwards.
And that is perfection at its finest. Everyone moving the ball, touching the ball, and then you get a wide open 3 in the corner.
Well, turning it over, no foul called. Taylor Johnson coming up with it. Can they capitalize? Johnson going all the way, coast to coast. And much better play there.
Yeah, excuse me, much better play by Johnson. He just needed to see the ball go through the basket. It'd be like that sometimes, Josh.
Well, under the basket, good defense coming from Wiley. You know, Plymouth City Patriots need to believe in themselves. They have to be collective at the moment. You see the body language of these players. You know, they have just been put together, of course. But this is the Southwest Derby and the opening game of the 2023-24. Look at this play here. Coast to coast by Taylor Johnson.
And the finish with the left hand. Really good drive by him down the guts. And now he is on 6 points.
Played his university basketball at Dartmouth. Originally coming from Houston, Texas. Was definitely a high school phenom. You know, many players, you know, only spend about 1, 2, well, we talk about international players, the Americans, Europeans, 1 or 2 seasons in NBL. But, you know, here's a player that just loved the opportunity to play many minutes and put up, you know, amazing numbers. But it's finally great to see him at the highest level of professional basketball here in the United Kingdom.
Yeah, and it's just time for him to step up, and he is right now. They've got numbers.
Well, trying to go for 3-pointer, but Johnson. Well, Taylor Johnson went for DeAndre Johnson. Yeah, I was a bit confused at why he pulled up a three-pointer. They had a 3-on-1. Maybe he should have been a little bit more clinical there.
And that would have been a good chance for them to cut into this 14-point lead, but instead another turnover.
Well, as you mentioned, a wasted chance there for the Plymouth City Patriots. That's got to be a traveling violation, surely. Now Bristol Flyers at the moment becoming very complacent in their offense. You know, if you're Plymouth, you want to cut this down to single digits as much as possible going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, if you can just keep chipping away at it, there's still a lot of basketball to be played. We're here 5 minutes, 55 seconds in the third. And just be solid on the defensive end. They got their stop now and execute good passes, good catches on the offensive end.
Jules Dankoto coming back into the game for the City Patriots. Big pop here with Johnson. Goes for another three. Three is up, way off the mark. Johnson with the offensive board. Second chance points. Could be something that keeps the Patriots in this game.
And what could be something is Johnson. He's scored pretty much back-to-back-to-back buckets for Plymouth. Well needed.
Well, another uncontested three-pointer, but an offensive rebound. Baseline goes up, and again, doesn't get the open look, but the follow-up. Well, Plymouth City Patriots had their last donut, but nobody called Bucks out.
And Thomas Edwards playing very, very hard, getting that second opportunity, sticking with that, and scores the layup.
They did everything right there on defense. Again, great defense there, anticipation. Well, we're gonna have a TV timeout momentarily. Then it comes in the midway. Another wide open three, can't get it. Dankoto comes up with it. Can they get something before the break time? Finds Johnson, wide open, three is up. Again, just not dropping here. Well, they're getting good looks at Zania. They're just not able to knock him down.
Yeah, just they're getting great looks. And I'm just not sure. Is it concentration? Is it, I don't know, talent? I'm not too sure why they can't execute these plays.
Thomas Edwards giving this over to Samuels. Smith looking for the post-up, goes up, gets rejected. Well, good defense by Johnson. Back to the big man.
Travel.
Big man's gonna travel, but now we're gonna have a TV time. Well, welcome back, Basel fans, from the TV timeout. But an interesting stat that you identified, Azania, about Taylor Johnson.
Yeah, Taylor Johnson, 7 points in 5 minutes in the start of this third, being more aggressive, getting to his offense. He likes that curl, also setting his feet, and then we've seen him do a coast-to-coast layup as well. But 7 points in 5 minutes, that is what he's capable of. We need more of that in this last 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
Well, Well, interesting now as we look to extend. 14 points, we mentioned the difference here with 4 minutes. Bristol's gone a little bit dry in their offense so far, but can they regain this game? Oh, another rejection there by Johnson. But again, just throwing it right back away. Now 7 here on the shot clock. Samuels looking to get ahead, but another wide open 3. 3 is up, no good. Plymouth do a better job of keeping Bristol off the offensive boards. Tries to split the defense, goes up, doesn't get the and one, but another free throws coming up here for Plymouth City Patriots. But much better we've seen in their defense, more organization, making it a little bit more tough here for the Flyers.
You literally took that out of my mouth. I was going to say that, but Atwood also being aggressive, being strong, and they feel some sense of urgency. I feel that from the Patriots. They know they're down, their back's against the wall. It's time to play now, boys.
Interesting now here for Atwood. You know, free throws has been a struggle so far. I mean, you know, the case not that they've missed so much, but, you know, they haven't really taken a lot of free throws in this game in respect to the Bristol Flyers. So Plymouth City Patriots, something they could do to really help them chip this down to single digits going into the 4th quarter.
Yeah, they're 4 from 10, make that 4 from 11. Do you believe in commentator's curse? I really do.
Well, I commit it all the time, I just don't care.
I believe, but I've had people like, oh, it's not true, but now I've gone from a player to a commentator. I think it's a real thing. So all them times I missed my free throw, it must have been you, Josh.
All right, well, 2 weeks ago, I was talking about how Bogdanovic was the greatest three-point shooter on the planet.
Yeah.
And then he went 1 for 13 against Italy. So listen, I make that mistake all the time. We're human beings, that's what I'll say.
But it's a curse, it's a real thing.
Shout out to Bogdanovic for making me, you know, look like the commentator's curse. But anyway, back to the British Basketball League. 13-point ball game. Under 3.5. Green looking for a post-up. Finding Leslie Smith going back to that big lineup. Again, big man. Looking a little bit soft there with his post move. Got the right positioning. But another turnover here for the Plymouth City Patriots. When they do everything right on defense, they just can't capitalize.
I'm literally going to say Paul James is probably going to have a sleepless night watching back this film. How many times they turned over the ball carelessly, bad catching, bad passing. Definitely some drills are going to be needed for the next practice.
Well, he's going to be on a 1-hour phone call with somebody in Canada about this game as well. No traveling violation called here. PJ infuriated. Nice little post move there by Brad Green.
Yes.
Again, looking like a British Basketball League Tim Duncan.
Sorry, I love that move. Real patience, poise, used his body, took the dribble, got the defense off of him, and then a nice turnaround finish.
They're looking for Atwood here. Patriots trying to build something on their offense. Can they get something here? With Johnson at the 1, but another offensive foul is going to be called. And it's another turnover. This one's against Charles Pepiniasi.
Well, also Johnson needs to take his time. He's asked for the screen, and he's moving before the screen's set. Be patient, wait for your teammate to come up and set the screen, then come off of the screen, and he just moved way too quick. It's easy for the referee to call.
Also, all part of the transition period of learning the difference between NBL and the British Basketball League.
A moving screen is a moving screen, whatever country, wherever league it is.
Oh, no doubt, of course. But, you know, when you think about different intensities, of course, you know, the margin's going to be a lot. But again, a big man. Well, he might be your favorite player right now, Zania.
He is. I get the lucky task to pick the MVP. So right now he's at the top, but I need Plymouth to chip away at this lead, Josh.
17 points, so they got to come back together. Johnson falls to the ground. Nowhere to go here. Kicks out to Dengakoto, and another offensive foul. Three-pointer will not count.
Leslie Smith moving his feet, count the big man in. Doing a really good job. Look at this, moving, keeping his hands up. And the referees, did you see that? That was in sync together. They said, yeah. Charge.
You know, the crazy part about that possession, that was such a beautiful execution by the Plymouth City Patriots. Get the penetration, kick out to Dengakoto, getting a high percentage look. Something we haven't seen, but, you know, it culminates in an offensive foul.
And I think if they do end up taking an L tonight, they'll go back and look at this film. I think there's so many things that they can learn from in game day 1. There's, you know, it's a long season ahead. And I just think they can really go back and clean up a lot of things.
Well, of course, expectations will be high in the city of Plymouth. passionate fans of the Plymouth City Patriots. Green, another offensive board. Big man going straight back at it. He is simply unstoppable.
And he's feeling himself, the confidence. I can feel it from here. Oh, he's my favorite so far. I've commentated yesterday's game and today, and Green is working hard down low.
Well, now he's going to play defensive duties. Kicks out to Dankoto. Another three is up. This one, no good. And you can see the confidence being sucked right here out of the Plymouth City Patriots offense. Green again to post. This guy, Zania, I think he can hear you right now. Everything he's taking is going to the bottom of the net.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. Keep going, Green. I'm a post player fan. I don't care who, what team, any post move, any post player. I like that move too.
Well, Pepe Yassi, however you said, because he puts on a little bit of trickery. Stepping in and around there, the big man getting his first few minutes here in the third quarter.
And Leslie, yep, it's fouled. It's the right decision. Leslie Smith walks right into that three-point shot, and this also is an emphasis from the referees. You've got to be able to let the shooter, one, land correctly and have space, and then also that shooting arm. Look at this. He hits a shooting hand. It's the right call. Well done, referee.
Well, Smith will be going to the free throw line.
For three.
Actually went to the University of Nebraska. Spent some time playing in Germany as well in the lower leagues in Pro B, but also played in the TBL before playing. Interesting about him is he actually signed with the former Plymouth Raiders.
Do you want to know what his hidden talent is?
Try me.
He's a really good singer.
I did not know that.
Yeah, his singing abilities. I feel sorry for his teammates on the bus, that's for sure, probably. But yeah, he's a good singer.
So you're insinuating that he's not a good singer then?
Well, he can sing better than me. I'm a terrible singer.
No comment on that.
Yeah, well, he makes his free throws and the crowd love it. And we're here for it.
Well, back to a 21-point ball game. Dankoto getting a handoff. Former London Lion player finding Taylor Johnson. Three is up. Nothing dropping so far here for TJ. We go for another three-point again. It's been really tough, and it's going to be a foul here against Taylor Johnson.
And good sportsmanship. Taylor Johnson just says, sorry.
Well, Johnson fouling Johnson, while one Johnson on his team. We have three Johnsons on the floor.
It's pretty difficult for you. Johnson.
DeAndre, Taylor, and Kedron.
Yeah, but good rebound by Johnson, just getting his body in the right position. But yet again, I'm sorry, but the Patriots have just struggled on every factor. On the shooting side, not even hitting the rim at times, and then on the defensive end, they're really going to have to regroup, re-watch this film, cut it, scout it again, scout themselves. What can we do better? Forget about Bristol Flyers. What can we improve? Just those 1 to 2% things, and ready for the next game.
Well, Kedron Johnson, originally from Dallas, Texas, started at St. Peter's University, but then transferred to Temple College in the JUCO system and finished at West Virginia University in his last season, averaging 11.7 points per game. So this is currently his first time playing professional basketball outside the NCAA, but so far liking what we're seeing so far here in the British Basketball League.
Looks really good. His game's transferred very, very well. He just plays hard, right? And look, here he is.
Well, speaking of the devil, here he goes. Finishes, doesn't get the ad-one, he'll go back to the free throw. But, interesting. I love Jules Dankoto. We're talking about a player with FIBA Eurobasket experience, a hell of a shooter when he played for the London Lions. And I've always said he looks very uncomfortable when he's playing a point guard role and he's picked up full court man-to-man.
Yeah, and he just put that ball right on a plate for Johnson to come and steal. We were speaking about Johnson, and I just think his level and energy is really something that the Flyers are, are feeding off.
Going back to Jules Dankoto, of course, if I'm a GM of any BBL team, I want Jules Dankoto in my team. He's reliable, he's a hard worker, and he shoots the three-pointer.
Yeah.
But, it's very tough when you ask a player to play a position that he's not so comfortable in.
Yeah, well, you just have to be very versatile. You've got to work on that in your off-season. But he's been playing 12 years pro and was in the ACBC last season.
Well, there you can see the end of third quarter now, a 25-point ball game. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back for the fourth quarter momentarily. Welcome back, Basel fans. Fourth quarter about to get underway here between the Plymouth City Patriots, currently trailing by 25 to the Bristol Flyers. Well, I'm your commentator, Josh Bennett, alongside Azania Stewart. Azania, it's now or never here for the Patriots.
Yeah, they've got to step up, and they've also got to figure out a way to stop Green. He has 21 points, Josh, and 9 rebounds to go along with it. I just need him to have one more rebound, and he'll have his first season double-double in the books.
Well, we just spoke about this during the end of the third quarter. Brad Green was teammates with Luke Nelson in his freshman year at college at UC Irvine. Interesting.
Yeah, so when they play the Lions, they'll probably give each other a nice little hug.
So that was Luke Nelson's senior year before going to play professional basketball in the ACB. But, you know, interesting, Brad Green, a bit of experience playing in Austria and in Germany. Big man there, now just trying to make things go. But now the Plymouth City Patriots, well, if they're going to make the comeback, every possession's got to count it. Nice little penetration, dissected the defense down.
And that's the penetration that they needed. Really good answer. They're not going away, just chipping away. 21-point lead, but still a lot of basketball to play. They need to play it on the defensive end.
Well, Green now in the paint. Makes another pass, finds Rafa Thomas Edwards, gets rejected, but a foul is going to be called. Thomas Edwards will go to the free throw line here for 2 shots.
And that's where Thomas Edwards' IQ is so elite. You see, he saw the shot blockers coming across, did a nice little head fake. They jumped up, and then he went up and got the foul.
Well, Jacob coming back into the game here for the Bristol Flyers. Well, it's been a nice reintroduction here for Rafa Thomas Edwards in the British Basketball League. But, you know, you talked about his time away in Germany where he took on also a coaching role. You know, it's kind of showing in his game, being a captain, where, you know, before he was very much a go-to player for this team.
Yeah, but I've even seen plays tonight that he misses a shot and then he's in a full sprint down the court to get back on defense. Players like that just kind of ignite your team. I think he's doing a wonderful job at the captain spot.
Dan Cotto finding Johnson in the paint. Much better build-up.
Yeah.
Penetration coming, but finding no ball. And Billy Mims will definitely be watching that one back in Florida.
Yeah, a lovely baseline dribble and then a pass off. That's what they need, and they get the steal.
Oh, Dan Cotto going all the way, avoiding the block, but he missed the layup. And now VC Dusha with a follow-up. Plymouth City Patriots showing a little bit more heart now. Something that their coach and their fans will definitely want to see.
Well, it's a long game. 8 minutes 20, they've got it down to 19.
Oh, good ball movement now, finding Johnson faking the defense. Green under the basket, the big man. He is simply unstoppable here, Azania.
But fantastic team basketball as they get an answer. Plymouth right back. But the Flyers, everyone touched the ball and inside. I think we might have an injury or, sorry, a quick sub.
Well, with the deficit the way it is right now, 19-point deficit, you know, Plymouth probably has to start thinking about playing that run and gun style because they cannot afford, you know, if they are going to make the comeback, to take too much time in their offense. Just under 8 minutes to go here in the fourth.
Not sure what happened to Jacob. He just subbed and went straight back to the locker room, so hopefully he's okay.
Well, curls the screen, draws another foul, and again, the help side defense just a little bit too slow to react as Tevin Ollison will go to the free throw line here for 2 shots.
Ollison That movement, you know, so fast is really hard to guard. Here it is. Thank you, cameraman. And takes the hit. Unable to finish, but gets the foul.
Well, Allison, as we mentioned, making his debut season last year in the British Basketball League. You know, being a very big impact player here for the Bristol Flyers. But now it's about setting the targets even higher. How far can this team go? Being a top 3 team should be the ultimate objective. You know, many improvements in teams we saw last night. You covering the game between Sheffield Sharks and Newcastle. Newcastle looking like their old self as they won last night against Sheffield.
Yeah, Newcastle was definitely tested by the Sharks, but they came up, they played a solid 40 minutes of basketball.
That's a strong post move there by Johnson.
Have you seen
Noble, excuse me.
He took his headband off. Maybe he's had enough. You know, you get superstitious sometimes.
Well, Noble, of course, we mentioned playing at Florida Tech under the great Billy Mims. That's a nice penetration. Again, eases his way in. Oh, Jacob just taking the entire backcourt defense right to school on that one inside the paint.
Really smart move by him.
Oh, good hands now. Comes up with a steal. Tries to go up and shimmies his way in and around the defense. And Alvisa Dusha making the effort to get back on defense.
Allison also feeling it, back-to-back buckets.
This has been worrying signs here from the Plymouth City Patriots.
But look who's all over it. The Flyers diving on the ball. It's like they're hungry. They smell, you know, that they're a bit nervous with their handling, and then they just, you know, dive on the ball, make it hard for Plymouth to even get a look at the basket.
You know, but you made the key point, of course. Defense has been the ultimate identity of this team, but you know, worrying signs we mentioned for the Plymouth City Patriots, looking very vulnerable in the backcourt. Yeah, ultimately, you know, Alvisa Dusha, who is a natural point guard, we've been seeing him play off guard a lot in this game.
Yeah, and why is he running away from the ball? I feel like you need to come, demand the ball, and be the point guard.
Well, another wedgie, second one we see in the game, of course. That becomes a jump ball violation. That's 2 wedgies we've had in one game.
Nobody likes a wedgie.
Nobody likes one.
But frustrating for Plymouth, especially when they were just getting a momentum, but the Flyers answer right back and put the lead back to 22. Quick maps.
There's the penetration by Samuels in and around the defense. At the moment, every time that Bristol make a penetration, Plymouth, it's almost not only a collapse but a self-destruction. Help side defense. Dayakota's going to get called for the foul there, but ideally you want Johnson to come over and take the charge.
I've enjoyed Samuel's play today, really unselfish, but played hard, done his work on both ends, the defensive end, and just, you know, a real knack. I feel like once the ball goes up, he's been rebounding as well. I like this Bristol Flyers team. I think they've done a really good job in the off-season, putting this team together, and obviously they're going to play in Europe this year too, so they had to step it up, and I think they have some really lovely pieces.
Well, played in the EABL with the South Gloucestershire and Stroud College, but, you know, really made a name for himself at Myerscough College. And actually played in the 4th division of Italy for Castania. That was back in 2020 before joining the Bristol Flyers in 2020. So, you know, a young man who's had a bit of experience across waters, but, you know, as you mentioned, he's very hungry, works very hard.
Yeah, look at him on Dusha right now. He's trying to cause him to foul. Maybe a little bit of a flop. But you can see he's winding him up, frustrating them. Look. He's getting squeezed in between.
That's not a foul, Alvisa. That's got to be a flop technical, if anything.
Well, I think it's because 2 offensive players are squeezing him, you know. But anyway, he knows what he's doing. It's a smart play, but I think he just, you know, testing the referees.
Listen, I know Alvisa Dusha very hard. If Alvisa's going to hit you, he's going to hit you. Let me tell you that right now. This is a better transition, but again, another turnover. Again, didn't see it coming. Alvisa, you know, right idea there from Alvisa, trying to push the tempo, but, you know, players have to be ready to take those passes in transition. Alvisa, a very experienced international player with Albania, at pre-Eurobasket qualifiers.
Yeah, you can see his frustration in there. 25 turnovers, and a lot of them have been missed catch balls. And just, you know, I just think they can be so much better, Josh.
Well, makes the dump down pass. Another rejection. Well, Plymouth have to push now. We're under 6 minutes to go here. Dan Cotto was wide open in the corner. Don't get the ball to him. Well, the high percentage look would have been on the perimeter, but a wasted chance for the City Patriots. Well, hesitation now by Rafa Thomas Edwards. Getting his own rebound yet again, but still can't finish it. VC just saving that one from going out of bounds.
Oh, VC did a really good job. But Thomas Edwards able and allowed to get 3 offensive rebounds.
Again, it's something Coach Paul James is going to reiterate with his players. You know, especially as well, you know, if you're giving that many second chances away, that's going to be to say something about your defense, of course, more than anything. But this is better for Plymouth City Patriots, but they just can't finish. Foul is going to be called.
Smith is going to plead his case with the referee saying it's all ball.
Well, Paul James, originally from Leicester, where he played for the Riders back in his day, but, you know, made a name for himself coaching the Thames Valley Tigers, and currently Surrey Scorchers, who were known back then as the Guildford Heat. But, you know, if there's any coach who's able to turn this around in terms of bringing young players through, but also signing the right players and getting them to integrate into the British basketball culture, it's definitely this man.
What was Paul James like as a player?
Well, he did play with my father, but one thing the old man would say about PJ was he was definitely a quiet floor general. He could pick out a pass, but he was just very intense. They played, I was looking on Facebook the other day, there's a picture of them playing for the national team with the likes of Pete Scanterbury as well. So he was definitely a prime-time player, that's for sure.
Okay. Might have to go ahead and get his highlights up. I always love a coach who's played. They just kind of have a better understanding of how players are feeling, you know, especially with fatigue. And you know, they just kind of, they get it.
You're absolutely right. That's a great point you make. I mean, look, not to say that if you haven't played pro level, you can't be a good coach, but, you know, having that experience of playing professional basketball, you have a different perspective than someone who didn't play pro.
Yes, yeah.
Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a TV timeout momentarily. So these two teams are going to have a time to talk it over as we've reached the halfway interval of the 4th quarter. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, after that final TV timeout here in the 4th quarter. Currently, Plymouth City Patriots trailing emphatically against the Bristol Flyers. But, you know, some very big games, Zania, coming up this weekend. And, of course, next weekend, tomorrow, you know, is going to be the big one. The return of the champions, London Lions, as they get set to take on the Surrey Scorchers, the team that finished rock bottom last season.
Yeah, the Lions have gone out also this off-season, got some really new pieces, but then also the MVP MVP, Sam Decker himself, a wonderful man on and off, has a beautiful family, and so he'll be looking to be healthy and ready for his first game.
And the newly looked Manchester Giants will take on the Caledonia Gladiators on Sunday. That will be at 6 p.m. You can watch it live on YouTube. It's time winding down here on the shot clock. Plymouth got to get something going. Green, well, didn't get that rebound, of course, but the big game is going to be on Thursday, the Sky Sports game between London Lions and the Caledonia Gladiators, the champions of the British Basketball League Trophy, taking on the champions of the League Cup and playoff final. So it's going to be a battle of the titles, Titans in the British Basketball League.
I'm really excited. I can't wait for that game. That's going to be on Thursday night, and I'll be commentating it.
Of course, you'll be covering that with the great Todd Harris. You two did a fantastic job last night. But, you know, a big thing about that game, we got one team that plays in the EuroLeague's Euro Cup, while the other one team's playing in the FIBA Euro Cup. I mean, it's going to be not only a battle of the British Basketball League Titans, but also teams playing continentally, trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, and I think this is where the British Basketball League has stepped up. Now we have 4 teams going to be playing as the seas open up, and he loves it.
While Curry Samuel's going straight down the middle and opening up the Red Sea. Well, again, more highlights will be shown on the official YouTube platform of the British Basketball League. Remember, make sure you subscribe to the British Basketball League on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and watch all the highlights on YouTube. Well, Green trying to run the floor. And again, you love to see a big man who makes the extra effort to get ahead. You know, you almost call that a trailer when you're going through your transition breaks.
Yeah, he's working hard, running the floor, giving himself to be an option to his teammates. And, you know, they fully trust him. You can see when they're driving, their head is up and they're looking for Green all the time.
Yeah, going to that game tomorrow, we're going to see the new look London Lions. Obviously, Sam Decker returning to the pride of the pack, of course. You know, I spent the summer with head coach Lloyd Gardner. He was my co-commentator at the FIBA Under-19 World Cup in Debrecen, and he has been on the horn ready, trying to find the missing pieces. Padilla Wang didn't feature with South Sudan at the FIBA Basketball World Cup, but they brought him back, but also some key additions, the likes of the New Zealand international. They mean business, sorry, to make sure that they can be more competitive.
Yeah, they've done a good job. Also, I think it's going to be a tough first game against the champions. But listen, anything can happen. We've seen it before. And then the excitement of just being the first game of the season. Good defense here by Plymouth.
Well, Green going for a three-pointer. Can't get it, but a foul is going to be called. This is going to be a push in the back against... No, it's not. Those will be called against Rafa Thomas-Edwards.
He's not very happy with that one, is he?
Or maybe that's been called. Well, Johnson, again, it's been a very interesting introduction for him in the British Basketball League. Going baseline all the way. Gets the and one. And he'll go to the free throw line here for the three-point play. But, you know, strong move here by TJ. But, see, I'm going to ask you right now.
Yeah.
You know, 2:30 to go here. I think I'm looking at your most valuable player right now. Am I not? Tell me otherwise.
Well, you know what? I get the luxury of voting every game, so that's a wonderful thing. But I'm going to give it to him exactly his 23-point shot, 10 from 6, and then also he got his 10th rebound. He has a double-double for his first game of the season.
Well, interested about Brad Green last season, averaging a double-double in Austria when he played for the Kapfenberg Bulls, a team that did play against the London Lions in 2022 in the FIBA Europe Cup. 16 points, 11 rebounds. But prior to that, also just averaged short of a double-double when he played in the lower leagues in Germany. So we might have to call him Mr. Double-Double.
I think so, especially as he's got it in the first game. But I like him a lot. I think he's very poised, down low, always asks for the ball. There he is. Give it to him. They've missed him.
Well, tries to go for the mid-range again. Good night to Bristol. Those fans, regardless whether you're Bristol Rovers, Bristol City, tonight you are Bristol Flyers. And what a statement game this has been in the Southwest Derby, the opening game of the 37th season of the British Basketball League.
Oh, beautiful move from Leslie Smith. He's been working on his game over the summer. You can definitely see that it's able to shoot the three, gets to the rack. Well done from that man from the British Virgin Islands. Look at that jump shot.
Tough play there with the pump fake, but again, you know, the limit of this man's game on offense, there's a lot he can do. He can match up defensively against Eddie Big, and as you see there, He does have an offensive prowess that makes him very difficult to defend. Well, Taylor Johnson making the free throw with under 2 minutes to go here, cutting it down to a 20-point ball game.
Oh, Taylor Johnson, 10 points in this half. I think if he looks back at his game and critiques it, he played a wonderful second half. We need that consistently through 40 minutes. He was on a donut in the first half, didn't score at all. Sometimes wasn't even looking for his shot. It came out in the second half and was way more aggressive.
Walker on the screen going for a deep three. You know, it's interesting what you say about Taylor Johnson, because you're absolutely right that, you know, it's, as we mentioned, transition period of NBL going to the British Basketball League. But, you know, his shot wasn't dropping from the perimeter, but his intangibles that he offered in the second half, offensive rebounding, playing very well off the ball without the ball in his hands.
Yeah, but it turned up his intensity too.
Absolutely, yep. The sky's the limit. Definitely a lot of promise with Taylor Johnson. So Plymouth City Patriots fans, definitely this man is going to come big for you in the season. Another foul's been drawn. That's a 15th foul against Bristol. So TJ will be going to the free throw line for 2 more shots.
It's like a whole different player, Josh. In the first, I just felt like he was a little bit timid, passed it too much.
Well, that young fan in the top right corner, Plymouth City Patriots fan, he traveled to every arena last season in the British Basketball League. I feel ashamed that I forgot his name, but I know he's, well, shout out to Paul Nicholson, because Paul will probably tell me later on, but that kid with his father, there they are. They went to every single arena. Those are the MVP fans of last season, and again, they're doing it again.
Yeah, hardcore fans. We love to see that. Yes, and he's clapping. Well done. He's going to be the MVP for Plymouth.
And they didn't fly from Plymouth all the way to Glasgow. They drove. That's how great. And I remember seeing them at London, Surrey, lovely family. Again, MVP fans, British Basketball League. Those are your top fans right there.
Oh, that's a couple late nights. It's a school night. Is it a school night? What day is it say? It's Friday. No, he could be out after.
Listen, I think I saw him at the Copper Box on a Wednesday night.
It's Friday night basketball, and he's here to enjoy.
Well, another deep three-pointer coming. And again, the pressure being piled on once again by the Bristol Flyers.
Johnson, beautiful shot.
Well, Taylor Johnson here trying to salvage something. I think it would be a consolation. 3 is up, and it's good. But, you know, one positive note he'll take from this game is numbers have improved here in the second half.
Yeah, he needs to build consistency, though, but way to bounce back. I'm happy to see him scoring.
Well, trying to go in around the defense. Johnson avoiding the foul calls. Goes up. The offensive boards have been the key thing here for the Bristol Flyers.
And the crowd goes crazy for Smart, working hard on the glass. He subs in and he gets himself a bucket and on the scoreboard.
Well, the alley-oop connection almost went in, but it's going to be a violation for hanging on the rim. You know, we are true basketball fans. We're just waiting for that one spectacular moment of just, what do you want to call it, airness or high-flying time or
yes.
Space Jam? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, an alley-oop highlight play. Trying to make the top 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, it's been a fantastic opening game for the Bristol Flyers. The legal screen is going to be called against number 15, Smart. But, you know, a key thing here, only 13 turnovers in the game for the Bristol Flyers. Zania, 26 turnovers for the Plymouth City Patriots.
Too many. Another thing they can work on. And why the crowd went crazy for Smart as he's come in and scored. Everyone has pretty much come in and played tough minutes and scored for the Flyers. I'm impressed by them.
Well, Jacob Wiley with a spin-out movement. Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of this game, it will be the Bristol Flyers who take the victory, 82-65 against the Plymouth City Patriots. Southwest Derby in the opening game of the 37th season of the British Basketball League goes to that man, Andreas Kapoulis. Well, again, what a finish it was here from these two teams. We're going to take a look at the stats, key highlights, and then we'll get a chance to talk with the MVP and coaches from this game. But Zania, what a phenomenal performance it's been from that man's team.
Yeah, the Flyers have the complete package for me, Josh, but it starts with the defensive end. absolute energy. They were physical, and you know what? They work together, and from that defense, it then turns into quick offense.
Well, now we're going to take a look at the statistics from this game, and again, an emphatic victory. But, you know, Xenia, looking, as we mentioned, 26 turnovers, way too many for the Pats.
Yeah, 26 turnovers. I think they'll be really disappointed with that. Also, the free throw line for both teams can be a bit better. And then also the three-point line, Patriots just really struggled shooting 3 from 14.
I mean, if you look at that, only 10 more free throws for the Bristol Flyers. 3 more three-point field goals. Turnovers really says it. The Plymouth City Patriots, the inability to really assert themselves and create that identity in their offense.
Yeah, and then the 12 steals for Bristol. I felt like they have just done such a good job. Their hands were active. They were on a string on the defensive end, and they just looked like a well-oiled machine, and it's only game day 1.
You know, Taylor Johnson went scoreless in the first half, but in the end, he almost finished with a double-double. He had 7 rebounds with 17 points that he made in the second half. I mean, he had a key game, but 4 turnovers. But the thing is, the expectations were so high on him. But, you know, give him a little bit of credit. The jump from the NBL to the BBL, it needs a little bit of time for him to adjust to the speed and the physicality.
Yeah, I'll definitely give him that credit because he bounced back. He could have really gotten his feels and, you know, just didn't go to, I don't know, warm up the bus and go home early because you've got 0 points. No, he came back out, he came in focus, and he scored 17 points along with Atwood also had 17 points.
You know what's interesting? We talked about LVC Dusha. For me, is probably one of the best point guards, top 5 easy in the British Basketball League. The floor general's leadership. You know, he played very much off guard, but tonight he finished with 8 assists. That's still a very high number of a very tough game for his team.
Yeah, I'm really surprised by that. I do think he needs to take more leadership, come back at some points and demand the ball and be the floor general. But there were times where he was making beautiful passes and his teammates just weren't catching them cleanly.
You know, we talk about your favorite player, Brad Green, you know, for my favorite as well in this game. Interesting, he was 9 assists away from a triple-double, but again, his rebounding, but just his ability to play simple basketball with inside the paint. He's big, he's strong, but my word, does he have a basketball brain?
Yeah, I really like Green. I think he's going to be have a great season.
Well, anyway, let's go meet the game's MVP, Brad Green, after a phenomenal performance. Xenia, off to you.
Well, Green, hi here in the commentary box. Fantastic game. I thought you did a really good job. 23 points and 10 rebounds. Mr. Double-Double, we're calling you on game day 1. Just tell me your feelings.
Huh? I feel like it was a great come out for us.
Well, we do apologize, Basketball
obviously,
fans,
our first home game, it's a big game for us. So to come out how we did and really establish ourselves at the first quarter and then through the game, I mean, it was a great team effort all the way through.
Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations for getting the first game win. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Well, there was Brad Green, as you mentioned, 23 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists away from a triple-double. Unlike he was going to get it, but the former UC Irvine player looks like he's going to find a nice home for himself, a nice niche here in the British Basketball League.
Yeah, and then we see the teams warming down, which is also an important factor of basketball. I just feel like when you're young, you know, you take advantage of these moments. Make sure you warm down, stretch, and ice.
You know, second half was, you know, a different Bristol Flyers. More aggressive, more emphatic, and more assertive on the defense. Yeah, there was no way out of this game here for the Plymouth City Patriots in the second half.
No, they struggled the whole game, and I think when they look back at this, there's a lot they can learn from.
Well, here are some of the key highlights here from the second half, but you know, you got to love the way this team played. But again, finding that big man, it was definitely a green light inside the paint here for the Bristol Flyers.
The green light, 23 points, and just solid on both ends. Played very, very well. But just going back to Plymouth, Josh, you know, I just feel like they're simple, what would we say, passing, catching skills. They're simple skills, just let them down tonight. The turnovers, way too many. And so I think it's not like I'm saying go out and dunk the ball or shoot every shot. No, simple things, 1%ers that they can work on and come back better the next game.
Well, definitely Paul James is going to have a lot to think about when he reflects on this game. And that's the beauty of the British Basketball League. So much time for these teams to reflect, turn around, and build themselves together. But, you know, the thing is for the Plymouth City Patriots, expectations are so high for this team.
Yeah, it is. But, you know, it's a long season. This is number one of many. The season will go all the way down to May. But this team will play each other 3 more times. 1 more at home and then 2 away.
Well, deep 3 there coming, but again, Green is going for offensive boards. You know, it's going to be very, very exciting to watch him. You know, respect to the Plymouth City Patriots, but go up against the likes of the Newcastle Eagles, go up against the London Lions, the real top dog teams, as well as the Leicester Riders. Those are going to be the teams to see if we're going to get double green light in those nights.
Yeah, green's important for this team, but also their defense. I think they just feed off of it. I think their captain, Thomas Edwards, was really good, strong. Obviously, big body. I'm excited. I'm going to put them up at the top where they were 3rd last season.
You know, that was a big achievement for the Bristol Flyers, and he knows especially that they have to keep improving. But, you know, the improvement of the Newcastle Eagles, Leicester Riders, getting that 2nd, maybe 1st place here in the British Basketball League is going to be a mountain to climb for this team. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go meet with the winning coach, Andreas Kapoulis here. Well, Xenia, off to you.
Congratulations, coach. Well done. Your defense was incredible, well-oiled. How happy are you to get the 1st win of the season?
Hey, Xenia, I cannot hear you guys very well, but yeah, no, I really appreciate it. I mean, certainly very pleased. You know, we talked about our identity, defense, rebounding. That's where it starts. And then on offense, you know, it would take time because obviously we've only been together for a couple of weeks, but a very pleasing win to see.
Well, Andreas, you know, one thing we want to talk about with your team, the defense has been a key thing with this team. Is this something that you've really implemented with your team in such a short time?
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of our principles have been over the last few years. We have some guys returning, so that makes things a little bit easier. But certainly for us, that's a big focus. And we know for us to compete in BBL, in the British Basketball League, we've got to defend. And that will always remain like part of our DNA, our identity.
Well, thank you so much, Coach. Well done. Congratulations for getting that 1st win. It always feels good. Well done. Go ahead and rest up and get ready for your next game.
Thank you very much, guys.
Ευχαριστώ, Coach.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Well, League, making that jump from the NBL to the British Basketball League in 2014, especially at a time when teams are making that jump and going winless throughout the season, they have always defied the odds and always risen with the expectations.
Yeah, and I think they've just made some really big moves in the off-season. They look like a complete team. I felt like everyone came in court and played very, very well. You saw Leslie Smith make some great moves. Jacobs, he went out sadly, but you know, just did really, really well. I'm pleased, and I'm a fan, actually. Obviously, I've only seen 4 teams so far, but hey.
Well, again, now we're going to look forward to the games of tomorrow. And again, Xenia, it's going to be a key matchup. The London Lions will return, the defending champions, winning 3 trophies last season in the British Basketball League. They will take on the Surrey Scorchers. Again, it's going to be a massive game.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. There it is for us. Tip-off is at 5 with YouTube. And I just think I'm really excited to see what London Lions look like.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow that live tomorrow on YouTube. But for now, it is a thank you for joining us here in the British Basketball League. But we want to say goodbye and good night from the beautiful city of Bristol. We'll see you soon.
Good night.
Julep, 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 julep.